It has been quite an eventful day today. It's Sunday 18th of January, so I think it's still okay to say Happy New Year to everyone, right? Something that I've come to notice, my better half Alicia has actually noticed, when I get excited, when I get excited, my speech becomes a lot smoother, nice and natural. The speed even improves. So that's kind of cool. I'm trying to get myself more passionate and excited about things. And so I'm out about doing a vlog again. Today was pretty interesting. Went out for my third ride since the crash. And last night I spent last night 2 hours of last night frantically fixing my bike. So when I was younger, I worked in a bike shop when I was in Singapore. Learned how to do repairs and stuff like that, builds, the standard mechanic stuff. And so this is confusing. Let me backtrack a little bit. So today is Sunday. So yesterday, Saturday, I had this collaboration ride with a brand called Athlete RX, and they make my shirts smell absolutely mint. If you have smelly bibs, you need to wait for the next video to watch what happened, or you can just jump online and get something from Athlete RX. Their laundry sheets are like nothing else out there. I mean, they've got so much silver oxide content that it kills all the bacteria, so it doesn't stink at all. I've accidentally left my clothes in the washing machine, as I often do, and the clothes are not stinky, which is absolutely great. I can get away with it. No one is angry with it. Yeah, because clothes aren't smelly. Okay. Anyways, that was yesterday, and on the way home, I noticed a creak, like when I pushed down on my handlebars. There was like this really awful creaking noise, and I was like, oh gosh, are my handlebars broken? And I thought to myself, well, if I needed a new saddle because my saddle broke down the middle, I needed new seat post bits because it broke as well. Oh, the impact really could have caused some damage on the inside of the handlebar. Okay, so I got spare bars with me, the Ascent Airus, and so I took the bike apart. What did I do first? Well, yeah, I had to undo the bar tape, loosen the levers, and then cut the hoses, the hydraulic hoses, remove the bars, put the new bars on, reroute them, new olives and barbs, reconnect everything, and it seemed good. I pushed down on the bars, no creaking sounds at all, and I was very happy. So 2 hours, basically new hoses, new barbs and olives, a full bleed of the front and rear. I changed my rotors as well, Galfa rotors, finally. I've been waiting for years to get my hands on them, and finally did over Christmas. I bought them myself as a Christmas gift, and I was really excited for today's ride because today was supposed to be a chill Zone 2 ride down to Rockingham with the SR group social riders, but more often than not, I think they try to call themselves serious riders. Okay, jokes aside, I was excited for today's ride. And as I left my house this morning and rode out, I heard the creak and I was like, oh my God, why is there a creak? Is it the frame? And then when I was riding a little bit more just to check that it wasn't the handlebars, I had an epiphany. So, the very forgetful me, I'm gonna blame the concussion. The very forgetful me forgot to put, or conveniently forgot to put, carbon paste on the carbon rails and the carbon bits on the Duramo seat post, and that was creaking. So, well, what did I do? I loosened the stem a little bit, put my finger in the inside of the crevice. There was some excess grip paste that I didn't wipe off. And yeah, it's like the stuff you leave here safe for later, you know, after a meal or when you're eating. And I applied it, retightened everything back up, and off I went, creak free. So I did 2 hours of work, essentially. Well, it's like half undoing the bike because of all the internals and everything, only to find out that it wasn't the handlebars. Lesson learned, you know. Go over the whole bike. There are a few things that can creak, and if you go into your bike shop, the mechanics will tell you, well, there's a few things that can creak. If you're pedaling, it doesn't mean that the bottom bracket is creaking. It could be a loose chainring bolt, or it could be a seat post that needs more carbon paste, or a saddle, a carbon railed saddle that needs some carbon paste, the grip paste. It could be a loose headset. There's so many things, but check and check again before you do major work. If I had to send the bike into a shop, get the handlebars changed, and come home and realize that it was not the handlebars, I would have been slapping myself crazy. I mean, yeah, because money would have been spent. Anyways, so I go on for today's ride, and we go out and ride, and for some, it's so random, you know, it crashes. We're at Bull Creek and going up an incline. Lance and I were at the front. My mate Lance, he loves to ride fixies. He rode his Propel today, and we were going uphill just at Bull Creek train station. But there's a bit of the PSP, and suddenly we hear crunching of aluminium and carbon on the ground, and screams, and Davo shouting explicitives, dropping F-bombs here and there and everywhere. It was somewhat bizarre to watch and hear. Dave has just gotten back on his bike, so welcome back on your bike, Dave. But it wasn't a great day for you with this silly stack. And what essentially happened was some guys were trying to close up a gap that had opened. We weren't going quick, pretty slow, like 24, 25 k's an hour, and some guys were closing up, and they obviously put on way too much power and had to pull on the brakes. So someone pulled on the brakes, and guess what? It was a pileup, a proper pileup. One bike super scratched up. Davo hit the deck. His phone flew up onto the limestone wall, and later on he couldn't find it. He went home and he had to come back and look for it, and it was there, so very lucky. He cut his hand. There was a lot of blood, but fortunately nothing serious, no stitches needed or anything. There was another guy, I think the one who had pulled on the brakes. Yeah, he somehow fell off the path onto the road. And I was like, whoa, he really flew off onto the road. And I was a little bit concerned with cars, but luckily there wasn't much traffic at that time in the morning. So yeah, the group ride kicks off, and that, mind you, was just barely 10 minutes into the ride. Barely 10 minutes. So, you know, guys, crashes can happen, but a lot of times these crashes happen because we're not aware enough of our surroundings. You know, if you pull on the brakes, or if you go too fast and then suddenly pull on the brakes, there's gonna be an effect behind you. So if you know there are guys behind, if you wanna close a gap, it's not a race as well. Just take your time. Take your time. Well, anyways, that's one thing that happened. And so that crash took out a few guys, a few riders already. The group kind of shrunk. We hadn't even left Perth per se. We were gonna go down to Rockingham. Anyway, so what happens next? The group shrinks, we move on. And as we head on down south towards Rockingham, we get a flat. Lance flats out, and his tubeless tire just went soft. Couldn't find anything. There's no cause that we could find. In fact, like, when he finally got home, he gave me a text saying, oh, I filled it up with New Zealand and it's absolutely fine now. There's nothing on the inside. Oh, hello. Hello. Cute little dog. Yeah, so there was no thorns, nothing. The tire's fine. But when we were out there, we tried to put a tube in, and unfortunately, the tube was shredded when it got pinched basically, and so it flattened out again. Initially, I thought we needed a pump, and I was so happy I could use my electronic pump, the e-pump. Put it on and turned it on. It turned on. Press the button, set the PSI, and then let's pump. And we had an error 10. Googled it, basically low battery. So I brought a brick out that wasn't charged. What a bummer. Okay, so the guys left us, and it was just Lance and me. Then two other guys rock up, Reno and G. G's a Filipino dude. Reno's a tall bloke with wet wipes and all sorts of knickknacks in his little pouch. Really cool stuff. He opens it up. There's like tire levers, tube, what else? You name it, he's pretty much got it. Very, very prepared. And he's like, if you're prepared, nothing happens. If you're not prepared, something happens. I don't know if it's true, but anyways, to continue. Hope you guys are enjoying this story of my day, by the way. If you are, drop a like, drop a comment. Have you been this unlucky? my day gets better. So those guys rock up, but the rest of the group, like at least 10 of them, they're gone. And we've been standing there for about 20 minutes. And so we decide, okay, it's time to go. Lance calls his wife for a pickup and we go off. We never caught them. And so we arrive at the coffee stop in Rockingham, and the queue is so ridiculously long. Like seriously, we rock up there and the queue is snaking all the way on the inside, like between tables and everything. It was absolutely ridiculous. And so I went, I'm not gonna queue up and have a coffee if the queue is so freaking long. So there goes my coffee. I just sit down and just chat with some of the boys. Some of them ordered coffee. They queued for like 15-20 minutes. That was a long time. And I chose to wear black today because it's the Sumom O2 program kit. It's very nice, and I thought it would be great for today. Turns out it was a really bad idea. I was cooking. Weather said a high of 26 and sunny. Well, don't believe the weatherman. I got so tan, and I got a nice tan line right here, you can see. When I got home, Alicia was just looking at me, angry and upset. You know, that kind of face. And the only thing she asked me was, did you put on sunscreen? And I was like, yeah, I did. I really did. SPF 50. She still doesn't believe I put on sunscreen. Okay, so, well, we left the story at the cafe. Well, at the cafe, the guys, we link up with the guys there, sit down, chat. Someone else has a flat. There's like flats all around and everything. And well, that's fixed, and we head back towards Perth. And I thought, well, that's enough drama. I'll just sit in and just enjoy. And off we go. And everything is nice and cool. Like, we're all together until we hit a bunch of traffic lights. And yeah, I did what I thought I should do, and I stopped. And well, there were two guys behind me. Happens to be G and Reno. Actually, on the way to Rockingham, it wasn't G, it was Jono. My apologies, Jono, J1, Jono1. Okay, going back to Perth. So, on the way back to Perth, got caught at the lights, watched the whole group just fade into the distance, and then never caught them again. It was just G, Reno, and myself. And well, we worked hard and pulled back, averaged a really good speed. But yeah, that was my group ride. Not very much a group, right? Getting dropped and all these shenanigans. It's interesting, but I think overall my day has been a lot better in the sense that I feel a little bit accomplished, you know, accomplished that I could go out for a ride, like did 80 plus Ks on the third ride back after 1 month of not riding. I'm pretty proud of myself, and I'm also pretty happy that my voice is coming back. I talk to people and they go like, hey, yay, Nat, you're all recovered. And for the most bit, yeah, I think I'm almost fully recovered. Do I still feel that my speech is a little bit slow, yes, but if you've never met me before, you wouldn't know, because some people just talk slow. All right. Well, that was my last 24 hours really, in 20 minutes. So yeah, I appreciate that you guys have listened in. I enjoy these walking vlogs because it allows me to just talk freely. And when I talk freely like this, instead of reading out, I find that my speech is a lot smoother. When I get excited and passionate about something, it seems to flow even better. So well, that's the end of my vlog for today. It was just an update. Looking forward to seeing you guys out on the road, and looking forward to more ride vlogs that will be coming up now that my BMC is all fixed and I can ride again. Cheers guys, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.